back to my presentation. So we looked at asset tracking, managing field resources, real-time dashboards, uh, works for smartphones, feature phones. We can even do feature phone tracking. We are talking to some company who is in buying agro products. They've got assets in the field. All the tempo drivers are feature phones. We can work with them. We can pull data from feature phones and do something similar. Surely the accuracy of the location will be a bit off, but the dashboarding, the warnings can yet be done, and warning system with exceptions. So this is asset tracking plus plus as we call it. Let me move on to the next one. Warehouse locations. As I mentioned, in the new GST age, we really don't care about state boundaries, having warehouses within states. So people came to us with the thing that look at what are the parameters of this equation. I have got where my factory is, where I'm creating all this stuff. I have got where my maybe sales agents are, and a forecast or a thing, a sort of prediction from them that what they're going to sell next year. Maybe I'm an automobile manufacturer. I know where my factory is. I create 10,000 automobiles. I have these sales agents who say I'll sell 1,000 of these. Somebody says 2,000. Now, considering this equation, I have to suggest a location of a warehouse which balances in such an optimal way that I spend the least in terms of kilometers per year. The cost of transportation is the least. Obviously, one who's going to buy more than me, I'll go closer to them. One who's going to buy lesser than me, I'm okay with going a little further for them. So balancing that equation is what I bring. This is a machine learning clustering based algorithm which uses all these inputs and suggests the optimal place for the warehouse, which then can be looked at your procurement team, figure out a couple of kilometers here and there, find the right location. As I said, a machine learning based algorithm works very well. And you won't believe I'm working on this solution with tens of customers who are super interested because everybody is relooking at their warehouse portfolio right now. So that's optimal warehouse location. Moving on, scheduling and routing. Let me again, give me 1 second. I want to give a demo of this. Okay. So what I'm going to show is scheduling and routing. So as I said, in supply chain, in logistics, the biggest money guzzler is the actual transportation. And we have created something which will help you optimize the transportation. Let me show you how. 1 second. Great. Okay. So let me show you the transportation piece of this. So let's look at my input parameters. First is the warehouse location. So from where am I going to deliver? Let's take a scenario where I am a 3PL player, I am a logistics player. I've got an order of supplying X item, maybe cement bags from a warehouse to all the customers. So every day morning what I have is I have a warehouse location. I have a list of orders I have, could be 100 odd orders. Each of the order tells me where this has to be delivered, again an address or a lat long, maybe a quantity that deliver 50 bags of cement, 100 bags of cement. That's the input given to me. And the output is what should the logistics player do in this, or what should be my plan for the day. So I've fed the lat and long. Let me feed the order for the day. Hang on. Other parameters are what's the max capacity. It could be that the maximum I can put in this particular vehicle is 500 bags. There was another constraint I heard is that all the delivery should happen within 3 hours. So as an algorithm, I can take multiple custom constraints. I've put a couple here, but I can take custom. So in this case, I'm saying, okay, not more than 500 bags for the day. Another constraint is what's the max distance. So one of my customers told me that between two consecutive drops, don't spend more than 100 kilometers. This was a long distance interstate thing. So if I spend more than 100 kilometers, don't do that, look at some other plan. So in that case, that's the second input. next is the type of vehicles I have and the capacity. Let's say I have a Tata Ace and it can take 20 bags. Let me add one more maybe. I have a Bolero and it can take 10. So that's the input to the algorithm. What we are giving is, where is my warehouse? What all do I want to deliver? What locations? What addresses? How many of them? I am giving some other constraint. Wow, good for me. I'll try that again. Anyway, I'm giving what are the other constraints of the system. It could be many. Number of kilometers, the drop times. There could be SLAs of orders, that this order has to be delivered on highest priority. I can again manage with the SLAs as well. And I'll try that again. Doesn't like me. Doesn't, hang on. Should not matter. That for me, that's just a string. But good. Okay. Anyway, the output expected from the system is that, look at this. So it will figure out where's my warehouse, what are my multiple orders, what are the quantities. Look at the road topography. Doesn't like it. Anyway, look at the road topography. Look at the traffic. Because traffic is a very, very important factor. If the traffic is high, then all my plan will go to waste, because lot more time will be spent, lot more petrol will be spent. So system will look at all of that and come out with a plan that, given these inputs, hire 3 Tata Aces or 2 Tata Ace and a Bolero for today. The Tata Ace will start at the warehouse, go to point A. It will take 33 minutes, it will run 19 kilometers. From A, send it to B. It will take another 57 minutes for some 80 kilometers. Like this, it will give me a point-by-point plan for every vehicle in question. And the final output is I'll get a complete roster for the day, that hire these many vehicles, do this. This vehicle is going to be with you for 6 hours. It's going to run 230 kilometers. I can pre-negotiate the rate with the logistics partners. There's complete visibility. Feed that, get everything done. Just to give a data point, we did this for one of the bigger 3PL players. They gave us a job run from a warehouse, 112 jobs were to be delivered. We took those. The manual planner for this actually used 29 vehicles and did some 8,500 kilometers cumulative. Our algorithm, from the grounds up on the very first run, did the same in 28 vehicles instead of 39 and did this in 5,300 kilometers. A 39% saving on the very first run. Those people just couldn't believe that's possible. They actually sat on it 3 days to figure out, is this feasible, is this correct? And after 3 days, they said, yes, this is correct. The system has come up with a far better plan. That is the sort of savings we bring onto the ground. Excuse this, live with this. Okay, so that's the scheduling and routing. Let me go back. So we saw logistics planning. It can even tell you the number of vehicle, types of vehicles. You give me a constraint of, I have these 10 vehicles, manage within this. I'm working with a bottling major, soft drink major. And the constraint they want is, I have these 10 vehicles, manage in this and tell me what best you can do. I can live with that constraint and give a most optimal plan with that as well. We saw scheduling. It will create a complete schedule. It will create a route, a complete roster, which goes back to your drivers, your 3PL providers. And that is the advanced scheduling and routing algorithm. Let me go on. Advanced geofencing. So I'm working with a cement major, multiple warehouses in the country. Given a warehouse, where all should the warehouse deliver? What is the geo perimeter where the warehouse should deliver? So typically, presently what they had was a painful thing. Someone at the head office made a call, put it to warehouse 1, give it to warehouse 2. No accountability, no tracking, no thought of is it optimal. So we worked with them that, okay, let's do one thing. What is your parameter to decide where all will you deliver? They said typically 60 kilometers from where my warehouse. That's what I'll deliver. Or it could be within 2 hours of my travel time. And we said, okay, we have a solution, what we call a geo perimeter. Let me show that to you. So the dot in the center represents my warehouse. Now if I take that, okay, 60 minutes of travel time or 50 kilometers, whatever it is, how do you decide where all will that land on the road? Just a different matter. We were working with a food major who wanted to do something similar. The travel time was 7 minutes. So I asked them that, how do you decide where all can you deliver? So they said as soon as the store opens, we put a person on the bike. He drives 7 kilometers in all directions 10 times a day. And we figure out what all points can this person reach. Then we take a surveying agency who goes all out figuring what are the society names, building names, commercial complex names within that area, and I create an Excel sheet. And that's my encyclopedia of where can the store deliver. And I said, how often do you update it? He said, nearly never. Even in 2 years later, I can't do it. It's too much effort and time. So we had a case, there was a building created, a society next to this food giant, and they didn't deliver there because their list was just not updated. And we said, okay, that doesn't work. Let us give you a better solution. So delivery grid, what we said, assume this is your store. As you're moving the mouse on this particular, all the roads, the system is showing you you're 1.7 kilometers, 4 minutes away. You can do that, continue in all directions, start dropping pins. But okay, I'll deliver till this particular point. You are looking at the road topography. I can even show you the traffic. And like this, maybe you will create a polygon, a 100-sided polygon which represents your delivery area. And then as soon as a customer calls, we take the customer address, figure out where in this particular grid the customer is. If he's inside, we'll say, okay, I'll accept your order. And if they're outside, we say, no, we cannot accept your order. So we did this simple thing. But they said, I cannot do this for 250 stores. I could have done this for 10 odd warehouses. I said, okay, let me go further. I can create an auto delivery grid. Let's take, I want to do maybe 10 kilometers here for instance, but I can take a time as well. And I say draw. Now my system is figuring out what all roads are going out of this particular central place. And on every road, where all can I reach given within a 10 kilometers driving distance. And I am creating that polygon. This works beautifully for them. This is created per store in like 5 minutes flat, 4 minutes flat. This can be looked at by their person. They can tweak a little bit here and there, and the delivery grid is ready. No need of creating a huge list of what societies are there or anything of that sort, and works beautifully. We can take this further. So even for the cement major, they're using is to decide which warehouse will deliver this. They have areas where 2 warehouse locations, delivery area overlap. We can even help them with that. We say both warehouse 3 and 4 can deliver. Either I make a call based on maybe the logistics player available in warehouse 3 or maybe the efficiency of a certain warehouse, or they make a call based on something and assign it to the right warehouse, get it done. So that's geofencing for you. Further than this, there is nearby. So let me take another example of that. Everything nowadays with Google is nearby. I am here, tell me what's the nearest pizza joint. So a pizza joint came to us that, can you help me decide where my next store should come up? I said, okay, what are the parameters you want to consider? So they said, okay, first thing I'd like to know what are the other competitions. And what is the competition present in the area? What are the universities in that area? Are there any hospitals in the area? Are there any places of worship in the area? Can you tell me what is the number of people on an average in a building in that area? Google provides us all that data. We created a system on which layers and layers of data can be put onto each other. Automatically, when you look at that, a particular area emerges. There is this area, there are a lot of people, there is no eatery around, there is no competition. I have a lot of customers there, why don't I open a store there? That's the power of nearby. As you saw, the grid has been created and this can be taken further. Let me proceed. So, okay, I clicked the wrong one. So demarcate delivery areas, we could have overlapping areas. The food giant had overlapping areas where both the stores can deliver. We can point that out, as well as interlocking delivery areas. I won't show it, but imagine you are a food giant. You have warehouses, you want to make sure with those set of warehouses, you are supporting all of Mumbai. No white space is remaining. I have a solution for interlocking grids, like these grids, but a unified view to see everything interlocks. So nothing in Mumbai is left out. That's interlocking grids. Okay. Going ahead, cluster definitions. So one is that I create these grids which fit into each other. One is that I look at the consumption pattern of last 6 months and my machine learning algorithm tells you how the cluster should be defined. Maybe a cluster is far bigger, second is smaller based on the business available in the cluster. So that's predictive cluster definition. Predicting the supply and demand patterns. And going further, even store allocations, as I said, intelligent store allocation based on multiple parameters. So those are few of the things. Again, this is just tip of the iceberg. We do a lot more. I've just bubbled up 4 or 5 things and covered here. You get in touch with us, we can discuss and take it further. Very quickly, uh, visualization, as I spoke about. We took an example of a pizza major deciding where to open the next store. Just to highlight, so visualization will consider data from multiple places. As the pizza major said, customers I have, my store, that was their data. Some third-party data, as well as a lot of Google data. What is the competition presence in that area? I can bring from Google. Google Places provides me that. What are the universities in that area? I'll get from Google. Combination of that creates a beautiful, very, very useful visualization. And we have a ready solution for that as well. We do all of this, maps and imagery, directions, distances, and people, places, and things. I'll talk very shortly, or maybe I'll just show on the sort of customers we work with. Again, we have like 850 customers. I've just put 8 or 10 on the screen. We're working with who's who in the country for location, for cutting edge solutions, for digital innovation solutions. These are just a snapshot. Next, I'll hand over to Kausalya. She'll talk us through the Smart Shift. They are one of our esteemed customers and dear friends.
One question.
Sure.
Do you work with any shipping companies?
Shipping, I work with logistics 3PL players, but not with shipping company. We will take questions after Kausalya's session. We'll be more than happy. Give us a few minutes. Yeah, Kausalya.
I promise to be quick. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Is this working? I can't make out. You can hear us, right? You can't hear us at the back? That's better? Okay, I'm going to hold it a little closer. So this is a very quick session. I wanted to just tell you about the fact that Deepak and Shishir can tell you tons and tons about technology, but the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is actually seeing whether the technology makes sense for a company and how is the company done once it's implemented the technology. So SmartShift is a company that was born digital. Thanks, Deepak. I would have preferred a whistle though. So we're a company that's born digital, right? It's an era of the Ubers and the Olas. They've revolutionized mobility in personal space. It isn't very far away that companies are going to revolutionize mobility in the cargo space, right? And with that thought process, SmartShift was drawn. We are a Mahindra Group company. We are a startup within a very large conglomerate that Mahindra Group is. So what is it that we do? I'm not going to spend time on this slide, right? This is a logistics meet. You guys know this data to death. It is a huge, huge canvas in which we all operate. Logistics is a very, very burgeoning industry in India, and we're very positive at the group in terms of how the industry is going to go. But one of the things that SmartShift specifically works on is we work with city movement, intra-city movement, and we're very positive about how e-commerce, urbanization, and consumption of people like you and me is actually going to impact it. So like all of you, at SmartShift, we are extremely positive about how the logistics industry is going to grow. We cater primarily to SMEs. Many of you would be doing that. Many of you may be requiring logistics requirements. We've been working for the last 1.5 years exclusively almost with small and medium enterprises. We've realized that they spend a disordinate amount of time arranging logistics and managing logistics, and it is our dream, our vision to kind of solve this problem once and for all and give them something that's very instantaneous, very convenient, and easy to track and trace, which became almost like the most fundamental need of the enterprises. We work with more than 3,000 transporter partners who have an equally tough time. For those of us in the industry, we know that arranging trucks or arranging small vehicles is a challenge. Trust me, the challenge from the driver's side is equally high. They have no clue where the next business is going to come from. And as a result, many of their behaviors are actually dictated by the fact that they actually don't know whether they're going to get business the next day. Our estimates tell us that 1.5 million vehicles are plying on a daily basis across the top 30 cities of India, and they're doing on an average 6 to 7 million trips. And all of that is the unorganized sector of addas and marketplaces from where they're happening. So that's an area that we really are committed to. So how did SmartShift come up? SmartShift, I call it being in the right place at the right time. Google was very keen to kind of work coming into India in a very big way. Google Maps as a baseline technology was actually developing a lot more features into it. So we're a marketplace, right? We arrange for SMEs who need transport to meet small and medium truckers who can provide transport. So we are like a typical marketplace. We have a unique value proposition. It's called auctioning. So like many auctioning platforms, you as a consumer can decide why you want to start your auctioning for a particular trip. So we focus a lot more on the on-demand sector. You put in your auction amount, and my fellow entrepreneurs on the platform, the transporters, will actually reverse auction. And we've actually grown this business in the last 1.5 years quite phenomenally. All this backed by very sound technology. So like Deepak and Shishir talked about, we don't use the full stack of all features. And that's, I think, the good part about Google is you can bundle and unbundle things as the case may be. But Google Maps is essentially a very core part of the SmartShift platform, which we use extensively. So I thought I would have time to show you this video. It seems like I need permission to apparently show the video, so I'm going to skip the video in interest of time. We are fairly popular now in the couple of cities that we are in for a couple of reasons. Like Shishir mentioned, I don't know whether you noticed, we have technology on SmartShift that allows you to track the traditional feature phones. That's not a technology a lot of companies offer, right? Everybody says smart means smartphone, right? I'd beg to differ in terms of how smart penetration in India really is. Yes, we do keep talking about the top 20 million people who have smartphones, who have data. The rest of India, and India in logistics actually doesn't have access to that much data. And we work with feature phone transporters using a fairly simple technology integration. We have certain elements on our algorithm. So one of the things that, again, Deepak talked about was how do you build an algorithm that actually enables your platform to be efficient? So those of you who use Uber and Ola, you know that their entire endeavor is to find the cab closest to you and allocate that cab in the shortest possible time. So in the most simplistic form, I assume it, if what Deepak was showing us was time, Uber would say within the next 30 seconds, find the cab closest. In SmartShift case, we decided not to make Media Agility's life damn simple, right? We decided that we want to auction, and we decided that you have to democratize the entire process. And as a result of which, we end up with a pulsing algorithm that's quite different from most traditional companies. But we've kind of established that as one of our best features on the platform, which led to scale. We have a very cool cockpit. I think